Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And today I am going to turn all of this into something like this. So it is a octagon. We have 8 sides, all decorated with designer series paper, and then it has this lovely interesting closure. Let me take the ribbon out of the way so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, and I have simply just put a large circle on the front there with a for you, so it can be used for absolutely any occasion at all. The for you and these lovely flower stamps are from the Just My Type stamp set, and the designer series paper is the Countryside Inn. So this one I made with Misty Moonlight card, and I'm going to make another one with Night of Navy. But let me just show you how it opens. Okay, so we have this kind of drawstring thing going on, and I've actually put the ribbon through that last hole from either side so that the ribbon stayed a little more neatly, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to open. Let me just pull one through. There we go. Should have taken my photographs of this one before I undid all of this, but never mind. So as you can see, it opens up with this kind of drawstring effect, and you've got lots of goodies. I've just filled this with chocolates. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's a bit generous, isn't it? So yeah, and then it is a case of just pulling that shut, and those pleats that we put in will give you that neat shape. Okay, so I won't bother tying the ribbon again until I'm ready to do my photographs later. Right, so you will need, and all of these measurements will be in my blog post, but this piece of card measures 6 1/4 by 10 1/2 inches, and we're going to do some scoring on that. Also need 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 3 inches square, and that will be for the hexagonal base. I've got a piece that I'm going to punch out, and another piece that a piece of white that I'm going to stamp and punch on that. And then I have 8 pieces of designer series paper that measure 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches, and they will decorate the panels. I cut from one long strip, and I've got them in order there so that they match up, hopefully. All right, so let's go back to just this piece of card. I'm going to get my Simply Scored. Okay, you can see that there. And I am going to score that at, on the long side, every 1 1/4 inch. So 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, 6 1/4, 7 1/2, 8 3/4, and 10. Okay, then I'm going to twist that around, and I'm just going to score that at 1/2 inch, and also at 4 1/2. Is it 4 1/2? Yeah, 1 3/4 at the top there. Yeah. I hope. Okay, Now, it is totally up to you whether you want to do your burnishing at this point or later on. I'm giving it a quick fold for the purposes of this video so that hopefully you can see the lines a little bit better, because what we need to do is put diagonal scoring lines onto each of these pieces up here. So this is my intersection of that score line and that score line, and I'm going to score from there to that corner, take it around and do it from this piece to there, and I'm going to do that on all of these. Okay, so that's where burnishing it might make it easier to see where they are. And what I found actually was easier to do was to do them all in one direction, and then twist it around and we'll do them in the opposite to get our crosses. So this is one of these videos where you may decide that you want to skip through. I probably won't fast forward much of it. Maybe when I'm gluing on the panels I might fast forward that. But for this bit, in case people actually want to craft along, I'm going to keep it just as normal speed. Oh, that one went well wide. Let's just do that. Oh, I'm trying to go as fast as I can so that it's not taking all day to record this video. However, I don't want to make a mess of it. Alright, so we have our crisscrosses along all of those 8 panels there. Okay, now I'm going to bring my Simply Scored back, and now we want to go from the centre of those 2 diagonal lines and score up. Okay, so that first one is at 5/8. This one is at 1 7/8. This one 3 1/8. This one 4 3/8. That one is 5 5/8. 6 7/8. 8 1/8. 9 3/8. Okay, so I have only added scoring line from the center of this to the top. Okay, I'm not scoring all the way down, just found the center and scored up at those measurements there all the way along. Okay, yeah. That is our scoring done. We need to do a little bit of cutting, and we will then do all the folding as well. So I'm cutting straight along that one there, okay, and then I'm just going to chop a little wedge out, and we will chop that one later. Little wedge at the bottom, and take that corner out. Okay, I am just going to burnish this way just now, because I'm going to show you a quick way to chop into all of these bottom panels. Okay, and then just fold that one up, and that one will come down. Okay, so we'll come back to those ones, but while we're doing our chopping, I've just folded that over, and I'm taking a decent wedge because I don't want these bottom pieces to overlap. So I've just done two at the same time that way. Fold it over, decent wedge out. Fold it over, another wedge. There we go. Over. Oh, maybe we went a bit too wedgy with that one, but never mind. And then we've just got that last one to chop. Now I have lots of little dart shapes over there. Okay, so we're now looking like this. We have our panels here. So I'm going to actually just glue these pieces on. Oh, this is such cute paper, and it almost broke my heart to have to chop that little fox in half. So I want to make sure that they get put back together again where they should be. So just adding glue onto these pieces. Again, you could take a bit more time about it. Where are my... Okay, so he is the first one I want to put on, so I'm trying to get it equal, this side, that side, top and bottom. And once I've got my first one in place, I'm just going to use that as my guide, top and bottom. Okay, so we're in line there and there. Just need to make it straight now. Okay, so I probably will fast forward this bit. And if you are making at the same time, you can just pause it until you've got all of these glued on. Right, so we've done all of our gluing here. We need to start thinking about these score lines at the top. So, folding it over, give that a score, and then folding it that way and burnish that. Okay, and then we've got that little one there. It will just naturally go, but you can give it a little burnish as well. So it then ends up like that. Okay, we need to do all of these. So doing it that way, and then that way, and then that way. So you can kind of get yourself into a little bit of a rhythm, hopefully. One. She says, and then gets herself all out of whack. There we go. It's better. And then that one comes out the way. So it's a little bit fiddly. definitely worth it. That was the one where my score line went a bit skew with. Over halfway. So as I mentioned earlier, all of the measurements for this project will be in my blog post. There will be a link to that blog post in the description for this video. And there will also be links to my online shop should you wish to purchase any Stampin' Up products, including the paper, the card and the tools that I am using for this project. Okay, that last one is easy. Okay, and just a little bit there. Right, so we are fully burnished. I need to chop this, but I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the actual mechanism. So what I've done is, this would normally fold back the way, but I've folded it forward, and then I can fold on that diagonal and trim off that bit there. Okay, then fold it on that diagonal and trim off, find the best way to do it. This way round's easier for me. Trim that off. Okay, so when that folds back the way, it's not encroaching. I'm going to take a little slither more off that actually. So it's not going over that bit there. Okay. Now we need to put holes in to thread our ribbon. Now I have this old Stampin' Up punch. I also have a crocodile, but this one was just at hand, so I'm using this one. But any small hole punch, and this one I've got a little guide there, so I'm just going to do that, and it'll put 2 holes for me to put my ribbon through. Okay, they don't have to be perfectly aligned. Okay. Nearly there. And the great thing about these old punches is that it collects all your little bits. It's almost like confetti. You could use it for a shaker card. So I know that Stampin' Up have brought back some of the larger circle punches, which I will be using to decorate this. It would be nice if they brought back these little handheld punches too, but hey ho, we can dream. Now, I want to do some assembly on this now. So I'm going to put glue on these 2 tabs. Okay. So I'm not squeezing it too hard so that it doesn't come out with loads, but I do want a fair amount to make sure that this all stays in place. So if I just bring that over, that should line up perfectly if I've got all my score lines and measurements done correctly. Oh, you can hardly see the join. But I will do it this way. Just make sure that it is as neat as possible. So this is my join there. That will be the back when I come to decorate it. I'll put my bit on one of these panels here. So we need to make a base, and I put one on the outside and I put one on the inside. But to make the base, I've lost my join. There it is. To make the base easier to fit, what I did was add the ribbon first. Okay, so we need quite a bit of ribbon, and to get it through without too much freeing is I melted the end there. Okay, so it has gone a little bit discoloured, but I can always trim that off afterwards. Right, so my little bits, let's put these where they need to go. So these bits all come out, which means the other bits will just naturally fall into place, and it will go like that. How neat is that? Okay, so I'm going to thread from here because my back join is somewhere around there. As long as it's not at the front, I don't mind where it is. Okay, so, oh, jings. This could be the longest piece of the video whilst I get this going. Okay, so bring it through, take lots with you, and then push those two together and pop it through the next hole. Hopefully. Better if you do it with. Let's try it with that. Pop it through. Yeah, that works better. Bring those two together. Thread that through. Much better, Heather. Sussed it. Okay. Pop that. Fill that. And your ribbon will get twisted, but you're going to be pulling it so tight nobody's going to notice. And I, for one, am not going to be bothering to try and sort it out. Okay, so this is the last one, so it needs to go through like that, and then I want to make sure I've got plenty of ribbon though. So chop that like that. Okay, and for now I'm just gonna pull it tight. tie any old bow on it, and as I say, it's just to bring that shape together at the top, which means that the sides are nearly in shape and you can then do something with the base. Okay, so we need to be able to add our octagon on there. So, mentioned at the start, 2 pieces of Night of Navy card that are 3.5 inches square. I have measured 7/8 in, so I'm just going to do this other one at the same time. Let me tidy up some of this mess so I can find what I'm looking for. Right, so I have my ruler, lining that up. I want to put a mark at, do it there, I want to do a mark at 7/8 and 2 1/8. Turn it around, 7/8, 2 1/8. 7/8, 2 1/8. 7/8, 2 1/8. Okay, and you can draw your line between those, or you can be big and brave and just cut it. I'm going to use my bigger scissors. So lining up my blades at each of those points, just chop that off. And we should then have transformed this from a square into a hexagon that will fit on here. Now, it fits one way and not t'other. Come on, which way is it? That way. That is the way, is it? No. That'll do. It may not be perfect, but you can always trim off some excess. So I have just pick any old tab and add glue to it, okay, as your first one, and then line up one of these along that score line with the points of your hexagon in line with those scores. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and then just make sure that that is well secured before we go on to do the rest. I've not done a big enough snip on that one, I don't think. Might have been the first one or the last one. Right, add your glue to each of these. Alright, so my method was to line up to the opposite of the one that we did first of all, and hold that in place for a moment, and then just simply go around and try and maneuver it so that it is a nice hexagon shape along the bottom, all tidied up. And as I say, if there's any little overhangs like I've got there, we can just take our scissors, snip it off. Okay, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Now, as I say, we did two. I want this one to go inside, so I'm just going to chop those the same as I did originally, but I do want this one to be slightly smaller, okay, so that it fits in. And I just mean slightly, so I'm going to pick one side, this side here, and I'm going to take a little trim off, just a slither, and then I'm going to go, so that was one, turn it around, another slither, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's all 8 of them, with a little bit taken off. All right, again, not perfect, but good enough. Let's take this out again. I've got a multitude of things there. Okay. Just loosen this all off so that we can get this other hexagon in. Doesn't have to be fully open, but I'm going to add glue to all of that. All right, and then place that inside and let it drop down. And I can see that that is a lovely fit. You won't be able to see, but it fits perfectly in there. Then I can fill it with whatever. I do have more chocolates, I haven't eaten them all. There we go. And you can pull that tight. Now, as I mentioned, if I just tied that there, it didn't sit properly. So I actually put one of the ends through. And it just made it tie a little bit neater, or sit a bit neater. Doesn't help it tie. Pop that through. Have we got it? Where's my tweezers? Come on. Love it. Okay, so we've got it all nice and neat, and then I can just do a bow on the top. I'm going to give it nice big loops, like so. And these will sit quite nicely. Maybe a little bit shorter on the loops. There we go. And I'm leaving these long so that we can still have plenty of ribbon when we open that out. Okay, little bit more decoration now, and that will be us done. So I had a piece of white, where are you? And I've got 2 bunches. I've got the 2-inch circle punch, which is an online exclusive. One of the ones that came back. And I have the 2 3/8, which is part of a bundle, although you can buy that punch separately. Circle sayings, that one's part of, and they're going to layer together to go on the front, but I need to do a little bit of stamping with just my type, and I'm going to stamp them with Misty Moonlight. And I didn't just stamp once, I actually stamped them twice, just to get a bit of a mix, like that, just a bit fuller, doing it that way. And then the For You from the same set, let's bring it closer so I can see, stamp that on there like that, then do a little bit of colouring, and I've used Night of Navy and Balmy Blue just to colour it all in. Just mix it up. No right, no wrong. Use the lighter colours for the flowers, the lighter shades rather, for the flowers. And I also used the darker ones on the leaves. I just thought that For You was a perfect sentiment, and these little flowers went quite nicely with the flowers on this paper. Love a bit of mixing and matching. So glue on that, pop that on there, and then I am just going to put my glue along the middle there. And finally, pop that in the middle on the front of my box. There we have 2 Countryside Inn octagonal boxes with a, I don't know what to call that top, but it's nice. Star shaped? Could be. Anyway, love it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to click on that subscribe button. Click the bell and you'll get notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Thank you so much. Bye.